Everyone, Rennie here at lusciouslotus.com. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that I'm calling the recipe for healing. And the recipe for healing, I guess, is particularly important for anyone that's been suffering with pain for extended periods of time. So chronic pain that persists, that lasts, that endures. And so I think it's important to start to think a little bit differently when we have this kind of pain that doesn't go away. And so it's about creating a base, a foundation from which to work, kind of like making a really good quality stock for a delicious soup. And so I have 5 base ingredients for this recipe. The number one ingredient is a willingness to open the mind to new ideas. And so I think it's important to think about what we've done up to this point. What are we doing to help the healing process, if we've done anything at all, and if we have, is that working? When we start to look at our lives and look at the things that are preventing us from healing, we kind of open ourselves up to the realization that, okay, maybe I need to make some changes, or maybe something needs to be looked at a little bit more clearly to see what can be done. There are so many natural health modalities out there now, all with these unique healing abilities. And so I encourage everyone who's in pain to do a little bit of research, explore, and if there's one thing that piques the interest, as soon as curiosity comes into play, I think it's something that needs to be explored. So really, the number one thing, the willingness to open the mind to new ideas. The number 2 base ingredient is a willingness to let others help. This can be sometimes a pretty tricky one. I know it was a little bit challenging for me for a while. I felt that, I needed to prove something to myself, that I needed to take charge and become powerful, and I could do this. But I think at a given point in time, it's important to reach out. And that there's a wonderful world of caring, loving individuals that can help us on our healing journeys. And there's so much to be gained from this feeling that you're not alone, that there's a lot of people out there that can help us. So that would be number 2. The number 3 base ingredient would be a willingness to take responsibility for our healing. So as much as it's important to reach out and ask for help, it's important not to get to rely entirely on others for our healing. That each one of us has within us a very powerful capacity to create conditions for healing, and for me that was pretty huge. That doing my own work, taking time out regularly to get a deeper understanding, to get a deeper connection to myself, to my body, was a really valuable thing to learn. So number 3, the willingness to take responsibility for our healing. Not to blame others either. I mean, I think that's pretty tempting sometimes. The number 4 ingredient, base ingredient. You've heard the expression, you can never go back. I believe we limit our capacity to heal if all we want to do is go back to the way things were. And I've noticed that can be quite a big stumbling block for a great many people. A lot of people that I've worked with, so many times the sentences that sound like this come up. I used to be able to do this, or I remember when I could do that, or I wish I could go back to the way things were. And unless you have a time machine, we just can't go back. And so I think it's important to remember that we are limiting ourselves if we don't create the belief that things can be so much better going forward. And they can be. I've spoken to a great many people that once they've gotten past these blocks, wishes that they could go back to the way things were, that things opened wide up and things became so much better. So number 4 would be you can never go back. And the 5th thing, which I feel is probably one of the most valuable things that I've learned and developed during my healing journey, is learning to tune into the body via sensory awareness. And so we live in a very mind-driven world. The mind is constantly in control. Everything's going a mile a second. We're always connected to something, some electronic device. And basically what that does is it dissociates us from the body. We lose track of awareness in the body. And the bodies can't heal if we are disconnected from them. I think it's just really simple. And a lot of the practices that reconnect us to our bodies are super simple and beautiful and easy. And our minds, our big, beautiful minds, are meant to be tools. Being a human didn't come with a set of instructions. And so a lot of the things we learn along the way, right? And when we learn that the mind is meant to be a tool and not meant to be our boss, for me that was a huge game changer. That I didn't have to listen to a lot of the nonsense that seemed to be happening in my mind. And the more that I connected to my body, to simple awareness, the easier and clearer things got. And so number 5 is learning to tune into the body through sensory awareness. And so there you go. Those are the 5 base ingredients that I think are extremely valuable for creating an environment for healing. And I hope that this helps you in some way and makes you curious and want to explore. I'm also sharing these because I've got an upcoming program for people suffering from lower back pain. And these are some of the things that we're going to touch on and work with, other than, physical movement and breath awareness and quality of thought, all these wonderful things that we're going to explore to create a better healing environment. So if this simple recipe for healing has made you curious, if you know someone who is suffering from lower back pain that's persisted for an extended periods of time, if you yourself are suffering from lower back pain, and some of the things that I talked about today have made you a little curious, I'm offering a 9-hour program coming up this month on 3 consecutive Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. at the beautiful Yogology Barn near Hudson. It's March 18th, March 25th, and April 1st from 1 to 4 p.m. If you'd like to have more information about the program, or you'd like to register for the program, please contact me.